Before this, I wasn't really the one who'd be for or against AI art. I think it's cool, needs regulations, and would help many people, plus, minus, and whatnot. But there is a theory, sort of a thought, where the humans are the ones who made art for AI. That's where the existential crisis began. AI art has been in the game for quite a while now. It has also improved massively. A lot of arguments too, for it, against it, the morality of it, how it can take jobs or how it can help them otherwise. As a non-artist, yet hopefully, I don't know, I understand where the two sides coming from. But more nudge towards the it can help department. It needs a lot of regulations, but once everything is dealt with, the legality and morality of it, artists can use AI to help them make their own art. They can train their own AI model to their own style, and will still need their skills to touch up on the results for their needs. After all, AI is merely a tool. The only thing I disagree with is how it's being fed data from unwilling artists and can be used by non-expert typing a few keywords and saying it's art without considering balance, colors, dynamics, themes, and so on and so forth. My friend, who is also currently trying to be an online artist, also kind of agrees with me. The problem is always on the human side, not the AI or the computer or the tool side. But what if the two sides were swapped? The problem that is always being argued is the fact that a machine, an author obviously void of emotions, currently creates artwork for a human. What if it's the other way around, where it's the humans that create artwork for a machine? Now, I'm not talking about people making art to be fed to the AI because that's called training. I'm talking about the actual human art for AI, complete and ready to serve to be consumed. The notion itself is ridiculous.
Preposterous! How could a human create art for an emotionless heap of metal?
This thought actually wasn't my own to crop. I got it from watching a video on YouTube by Lily Alexander. The video talks mainly about sludge content. For those who don't know what sludge content is, it's content that is kind of a combination of many other contents. Typically one that has value while the others are just eye candy. However, there are sludges that have no value other than being eye candy in and of itself, with no depth whatsoever. And before that, Lily explains the correlation between that and the other case of Elsa Gate, which is a type of content made for kids or toddlers. The content features popular cartoon characters in baffling scenarios that are stitched together with no consistency between each scene. The content is just there to fit the eyes, like sludge content, but targeted toward kids. That's why the two feel very similar, in that they are made only to feed the eye, not the mind. The content can have no context that ties them together, which is the telltale of an AI creation, for now. But they are made by humans. Even Elsa Gate started with human actors.
That's not AI. I can't blame people for assuming, though. While sludge videos are probably made with human input, they might as well not be, because they're produced to the exact whims of recommendation algorithms. The humans making sludge videos are effectively tools acting out the wishes of an unknowable machine. No offense.
When watching this, it gave rise to a question in me. A question regarding AI, art. A little detracting from the video and Lily's commentary on modern art being a sludge. A question like, how far can it go? In Lily's video, she said those content might as well be AI art because it's made not for humans but for the algorithm. The argument of AI art made by machines has no feelings, devoid of meanings, can be applied to this art made by humans yet only to appease the machine. Only then the machine serves it to the public. It could be argued that the machine is still serving humans, thus it is, in fact, still human art. This argument can be rebuffed by understanding their nature. The algorithm is an AI, but not in the way of the futuristic AI that we are seeing starting to pop up. The algorithm is a narrow artificial intelligence that can only do one specific task, but do it greatly. That specific task is to keep humans glued to the service they are using: YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, and so on. The task isn't to serve humans, give them content that is valuable to them, it's to keep them in the app. Although you can keep them in by giving them valuable content, an AI isn't built to think like humans. Most would either count retention or engagement, how long a user stays, or how much interaction the content has. In a perfect world, this would work as a measure of the content's value. If the content is great, it would receive many interactions, be shared, and people would be glued to it. But as with the ElsaGate and sludge content, it has proven that content can have the traits of a great one but has no value. For creators and artists that just want to farm views, popularity, they only need to adhere to the meta. They don't need to make something valuable either for themselves or others. And it's already happening in the current modern world. That alone is already scary.
Oh, but it's not a must. They can still make stuff that has value.
Yes, but that's why I use the word farm and meta, because it'll be the most optimized way to do it. Some people might still keep on with the old ways, but many will go with the most efficient way possible, especially since this relates to a lot of people's livelihood. But there is something else on my mind, something more grim. When you say art, what do you imagine? An illustration? A music? Writing? Perhaps a video? A film? A photo? A very philosophical and subjective question. I can say a half-eaten burger has an artistic value to me, while others may disagree. Art matters to the creator and the audience. It's our thoughts, our feelings, what we gave meaning to. It can give away who we are as a person, as a group, as a mortal, as a conscious observer. When you say AI art, how broad the term art did you speak of? Is it merely the images? Is it the tone you hear, the script written? Imagine a world where your thoughts and feelings are regulated. Imagine you as a person, the meaning of who you are is controlled by AI. A world where art is controlled by AI. Where the artist could only be allowed if their creation adheres to the machine. In a world where our basic needs are surrendered to the machine. Where the machine regulates our social behavior. The way we talk, the produce of our thought, limitations were set if we want to be connected. A world where AI is the middleman for everything that we do. Where everything has to go through them to get through at all. A world where AI makes the rules. Humans may create, but only if they follow said rules. AI art by human hands. Far-fetched as it sounds, our modern social media, while having fewer limitations, does have goals. The algorithm that counts retention and engagement makes it so that the bar is low enough than a great content. Chasing that bar as low as possible means actually making AI art, as people called it, that seemed devoid of humanity. Deny it as one may, the possibility of exploiting such a system is a captivating method that people's livelihood could depend on. The fact that one can do so little and get so many is also discouraging for someone that would put their heart and soul into their creation when all of them could be valued the same. No one's stopping them, but it would be extremely inefficient. In that way, their art is discouraged to be personal. It is discouraged for one to make something that speaks. Thus, the goal becomes limits. It's better to make as little as possible. To make something that's a play in the weakness of the human psyche that adheres to these goals of retention and engagement. Talking about the human psyche, I think it's unfair to talk about art without the side of the audience. My previous conjecture only applies in the case that everyone is a creator, and creating is the way to communicate. But how does this hypothetical, hopefully, world affect the audience? Long story short, it's bad. As bad or even worse. And I don't even need to start with hypothetically speaking because I can clearly see how bad it is with what we already have. The fact that even contents like Elsa Gate and Sludges are able to manifest is a testament to our weakness as creatures of nature. No matter how much we deny it, no matter how much we tell ourselves how cognizant we are still bounded to the same rules, the rules of psychology. Our brain wants stimulants. Our brain hates working. The faster the brain gets the reward, the more addicted it became. It doesn't happen overnight, but as more and more the brain gets introduced to shorter form content, the more it became accustomed to short work with high rewards. It's an argument that everyone has been saying, short attention span from social media and stuff. But I want to add, sort of revert back to my point of the reward that the brain gets from this is not one of value, it's merely a stimulant. Eye candy serves to soothe the mind so that it can just turn off. If I have to say, it's not even a reward at all. There is no art in a stimulant. There is nothing to take that can change a person. It has no value, yet our imperfect brain is seemingly suited by it. Sadly, no matter how much we deny it, we're not free from such exploits. Psychological exploits have been around for long, even in video games now. How can we be so sure we won't fall prey to the others? Although we want to think that we won't, our brain says otherwise. That is what I think is scary, from the side of the audience. No matter how sentient we are, no matter how much we want to relish in arts of value, the fact that our great minds can simply be broken by simple psychological advances is really putting me back in my place, reminding me that perhaps the human mind is not so great after all. That and the fact that the machine is in the middle of it all kind of forces you to accept that perhaps AI is better than humans already. And they don't even need to evolve to be super intelligent first. They are already designed by humans to exploit the human mind. What am I trying to prove here? Oh, spooky scary stuff? This ramble is in no way a call for action or vilifying AI so we may be rid of it. In fact, I still am for AI. I would rather see what world, which madness or treasure it may bring to mankind. I'd like to see how far it could go. This video is more of me explaining stuff that I think is scary that can and already happen regarding AI. Sort of like sharing my existential crisis, that is. What you decide with that info and what you think with it is up to you.